Everybody, Flash Rasman back again in Ambition. To the volume down in my headphones so I don't deafen myself. Oh, what we got on? Where are we? We have got this. Let's go to whatever that is. Oh, it's up here. It's a birthday party for... I don't know. It's a bourgeois. Is it a bourgeois? It's a bourgeoisie party. So the obvious one is to wear old Honor Aids gift. Count Richard Albert requested Dance of Vet to go to their birthday party on 13 July 1789. This intimate party is sure to be the very height of genteel gaiety. I'm sure it is. Okay. Cool. Everybody likes that. What have we got? Again. I've noticed that this is the second. I'm tempted to report this in because the second time I've noticed that on church parties, also we're not getting any guests to parties. Okay. Go with this one. Bit conversation. You move between the richly appointed rooms of the grand house, each more opulent than the last. The tasteless excess of its splendor in equal parts amusing and intimidating, wealth wielded as a social weapon, without even the barest fig leaf of pretence. Amidst your evaluation, nearly bump into a worried-looking man who barely seems to notice you. He's muttering to himself, something to himself, and he stares off into space. Je suis désolé, madame. Okay, hopefully I pronounced that right. I probably didn't. Anyway, he says, finally looking you in the eye. I thought that coming to this party might distract me from my troubles, but I was wrong. Now I'm failing to concentrate on my work and failing to fulfill my social obligations. Truth be told, the rumours I've heard about my business partners tonight have only added to my list of woes, should they prove to be true. Ooh. Is there any chance you could take my mind off this building pile of misery? It's better to voice one's woes than run from them. What news have you heard? I've heard rumours recently that surely must be worse than what you've learned. You'll think giving voices considerable less than their weight? Of course they will. Well, it's certainly a better idea than what I've been doing so far, he laughs, and starts to explain the rumours about his business partners that have been bothering him so. When you pretend to lend a sympathetic ear to his plight, you hungrily drink in every last detail. When he finishes, you ask a few tame questions about his business and otherwise do your best to bolster his spirits. As soon as he seemed less burdened by his woes, you excuse yourself and explore the rest of the party. That was easy. So again, we've got more, with this one again, we recognise there. Small businesses. In fact, there's nothing in there, worries me slightly. Strolling through the party, you notice a flash of green fabric that immediately draws your eye. Is that Fatima you're seeing dress? Her clear disquiet is enough to draw your attention as you approach her. Fatima brightens up at the moment she notices you. Alhamdulillah, someone I actually know is here. I like Fatima. To her new, I'm starting to think that my coming here was a mistake, she continues, gesturing awkwardly at an untouched glass of wine she clearly doesn't want to be holding. A week ago, a customer invited me to come here so I could meet other fledgling business owners. It sounded like a good idea at first, but they appear to have confused definition of fledgling businesses. These people make more in a day than I do in a month. I just love that. The one thing about this game, I love the art style. It's just beautiful. Then again, maybe I'm the one who's confused. Every conversation I hear, someone declares some new thing that every business sees and none of them are things I can afford. Maybe that's a sign. I somehow failed to realise that this was a formal event, which is perfect. As you can tell, I'm a dressmaker wearing worn-out rags to a grand celebration. Exactly how a clever person advertises their trade, no? Please come to my shop. I guarantee you'll leave better dressed than me, she quipped sarcastically. Le petit Mogul, every impression is better than the first. Maybe I should just leave before I embarrass myself further. That customer invited you here for a reason. They thought you belonged. Why doubt that? Why doubt them? I've seen disaster to say that now you would be a good time to flee. They should be embarrassed for friends to recognise your talents here and go forth at once. Let's get that one. I assure you, you're set to see the limits of my self-doubt. However, if I simply turn tail at the first sign of difficulty, I'll still be working for Madame Bettine. she mutters darkly to herself. Then I'd be miserable and drowning in self-doubt all the same. At least the risks have gotten me this. Right, you won, Yvette, for the time. It's time for me to go impress people and pretend that I look this way on purpose. With the fires of her passions reignited, she puts down an untouched wine glass and leaves. So what woman as all this is, what's the most important is that something new and exciting is clearly happening. If your good fortune holds, it could even end explosively. Okay. You pick up a discarded wine glass, look and see if anything else you can accomplish here. I thought that picture was one where somebody was impersonating us. Okay, that was a bit of a strange one, to be honest with you. It's almost like there's another story happened with Fatima that we don't know about. But anyway, Bastille, a looming castle, was once the most infamous prison in all of Paris. Though it barely fills its role as a prison anymore, many still consider it a symbol of tyranny, of repression. Today, a mob of 1,000 commoners armed with pikes, kitchen implements and stolen rifles attempt to storm the fortress. The Bastille contains hundreds of rifles, dozens of cannons and ammunition for all of them, and it's also extremely undermanned. The guards number barely more than 100. Camped on the Camp de Mars on the other side of the River Seine are 5,000 troops in service to the Crown, armed and ready for battle. Barely a mile away, if they decide to cross the river to relieve the defenders of the Bastille, nothing will be able to stop them. And that's exactly what they do. Their commander's word, 5,000 troops form up against a swift march to cross Pont-Sully. They are grim and determined to restore order at any costs. As the enormous force crosses the bridge, many of the attacking militia scatter. Those who don't are quickly trapped in the square surrounding the fortress. The relief force strikes like hammers, shattering the nascent citizen army against the looming walls of the Bastille. By the end of the day, bodies littered the streets of the revolutionaries have gained hundreds of martyrs to their cause, and they have lost the first great battle, but it's too late for them to turn back now. Okay, it's turning in favour of the Crown then. And also that said, there's a different message. And now it did say, and so in Paris, life has changed forever. Last weeks have been complete chaos. There's been fighting in the streets, roads and lines are blocked with barricades, the roaring drone of chanted revolutionary slogans merged with orders to dispense, punctuated by screams and gunfire. In the past year, so much about glorious uprising from one group and the valour in loyalty unto death from the other, but hiding in your house for the last few days, you have yet to see any of that. As you can imagine, this has put a rather serious damper on your social calendar. We can no longer receive random party invitations. While the violence stretches on into its own terrifying monotony, you can't help but feel that it's building towards something like all of this conflict will finally come to a head. As you consider leaving your house for the first time in 2 weeks, you imagine the next few days would be a good time to get your affairs in order. To that point, you consider Pierre's humble newspaper and how his ability to peddle influence may have an effect on the outcome of things. Ooh, it's a hint for us to do something. It looks like we're not going to get to kind of tangle with Honour Aid. Fishy business. Elizabeth de Vicia, balance of power. La Place Royale. La Petite Morgale. Okay, let's go to the Trompette Peuple. In fact, let's not do that actually. Let's go back to the estate. Let's go to our journal. I really want to push that a bit more. So 19 days ago. Still gone all over, still gone upside down, hasn't it? They're equal with each other. What do we do? Right, I'm not sure what to do it now. I'm somewhat confused. Do we want to peddle influence? We've got home, let's go to La Trompette Peuple. You enter P, yep, usual. Pinion, bourgeoisie. gossip, Bill give my best. Yeah. Right, let's see what I can flog. Not going to do us any good. Let's pedal influence this time. Pedal influence. Okay. Let's push the church. Let's see if we can. Well, let's have it. Let's have a look what we've got. Let's order it by. Is this my most valuable at the top? Hang on, let's go a second. Let's order this is ordering in. Oh, is it all out of date? Oh, it's everything is out of date. Everything's old. Right, so we're pushing purely for. Okay, which way do we want to go? Do we want to go with influence? Well, let's push influence towards military, towards the. Let's pedal influence. Let's push, increase the power of the bourgeoisie. One in chance, increase the power of the bourgeoisie. Let's decrease the power of the church. Power down. 1 in 3. Push the church towards a revolution, barely. Right, okay. Shocking crime gossip. Let's pedal influence on this one. 1 in 2. Right, let's leave that for the time being. I've never done that before, so I've no idea what's going to happen. Hopefully it's not going to get us into trouble. Probably will do, because it normally does. Yeah, okay. As expected, it's come back to bite us on the rear end. Oh well. Oh dear. Just, yeah. Okay, alright then. Explore Paris again. Stepping out for a drink. Antone and Alex. I'm not fussed about that. Ludovicchio and Honour Aid. Let's visit Honour Aid. Let's have a quick look at anything else first. We'll make sure artistic license. Let's Honour Aid. Visit location. You don't go out to explore the city until later in the evening, mostly for a simple change of pace. There's less crowding, which is nice. As you walk through the empty streets, you have to look past Mademoiselle, who's walking the streets. Her servant Rennie is not far behind her. Bonjour, little Yvette. I see you're taking some fresh air as well. Please join me as I wander aimlessly through the city, she sighs with a smile. I would hate for this to become dull. The two walk closer together, taking the city, talking about the events of the last few weeks. As always, Mademoiselle is composed but extremely opinionated. You turn a corner and nearly bump into the priest Ludovicchio. As he stumbles away from his close call, you notice there's a book about the pirates of the Barbary Coast tucked under his arm. Mon Dispas, are you two alright? After it's been confirmed that none of you been put into mortal peril, he looks around and asks, you all out here wandering the streets at dusk, are you two lost? We're not lost, priest, nor do we need of your help. In fact, I would ask you to stay out of our business altogether. At disappointing, Ludovicchio replies, when presented with a chance to use grace and kindness, you instead dismiss it outright. Disappointing but not surprising. It isn't telling to see that the quarrel is not merely romantic in nature, but it seems the church and the bourgeoisie don't agree on something important. The walk continues on a cloud of tension and awkward silence. While it's now reaching a late hour, I should actually head home. Would you care to join me, Yvette? Do you mind if I join you? I have something to ask Yvette as well, Ludovicchio asks, seemingly oblivious. You see, I was hoping to speak to Yvette alone. Mademoiselle Mum was on a rare occasion where her words figure me to fail her. Yes. Merveilleux. Marquez over Pascasis whilst that Yvette and I have some business to attend to. Oh, I see. Ludovicchio was defeated. Hopefully our pass will cost again later. After Ludovicchio leaves, you and Mademoiselle start to walk back to her estate together. The night air is unexpectedly cool, and you feel a chill across your skin. Noticing you shiver, annoyed pulls you closer. As you talk, it becomes quite obvious to you that Madame Gazelle has no special business with you getting you alone, or to herself is a more symbolic act of devotion than anything else. Eventually you find yourself in front of her estate. It's an elaborate, fashionable rococo building that sits back from the street behind a gate. The windows are shrouded in gauzy black curtains. This is where we part ways for tonight, little Yvette. Do not worry, Renee will make sure you get home safely. As she heads inside, Madame Gazelle directs Renee to ready her personal cash to provide you with a suitable way home. It certainly beats walking. Sometimes if you find yourself arriving at your charming, dilapidated home, it serves as a strong contrast to Madame Gazelle's sumptuous yet sepulchral carriage. Today may not have been too eventful overall, but it still feels like the day went well. Okay. And another day. The sweltering heat of the last few days continues unabated, as does the discontent that you can hear, even through shuttered windows. However, you also a letter on your vanity sealed in blue wax. You're already quite familiar with the seal. It's an unassuming quality of paper, most certainly written by Alex. In your hands, the letter opener is powerful and deft as a sabre, and the wax seal falls easily to your attack. As always, his penmanship on this letter is disciplined and precise. I would like to apologise for my absence as of late. As you can imagine, my duties to my unit have kept me busy indeed. Still, that's no excuse. I'd like to make this last up to you as soon as possible. If you would let me, send a signal to me, and I shall whisk you away to a day of enchantment and gallantry, likes of which you've never seen. Très cordial salutations, Alex. Monsieur le Humanite is now available to visit on the Paris map. You consider yourself and realise it. Okay. Good thing. You come stretch and feel a twinge in your back. You curse whatever contorted position you managed to fall asleep in last night. Judging from the noise outside, Paris has yet to become any more peaceful during your night's rest. Just as you wonder what Camilla's prepared for your breakfast, you notice a faint smell of perfume. It's both floral and bitter. There's a letter on the bedside table. Judging from the rich purple wax seal, it's as well as the scent of perfume, it's definitely sent by Madame Gazelle. You open and begin to read the letter. Flowing cursives of a handwriting is both beautiful and familiar. Gervais, as late I've been feeling even better than I did at the beginning of our last fateful encounter. My gardens are doing special, and I'd love for you to see them. Here there will be no chance of us being interrupted. I await your arrival. Bon effectivement, Madame Gazelle. A matrice de commande is now available to visit on the Paris map. Finding yourself with a letter as you drive away some of the summer heat, you can't help but notice the smell of her perfume on the letter again. You idly realise that you could go there tonight if you were willing to brave the streets of Paris. Oh. The sensible thing would be go to see Alex, because quite frankly he's military and he's probably going to look after us. The more fun thing to do would be go to see Honorade. So I'll give you three guesses to guess which one I'm going to do. Should we go safe and potentially secure our future with a man of the military, or should we go and discover what piece of furniture Madame Gazelle was getting made at that furniture maker's? Yeah, I don't want to know in the comments what you think it is either. Could get us all into trouble. Let's go that way. Let's go see Honorade. The reason why I'm pushing this one, because I didn't push Alex in my first one either, but this one seems a bit more fun, and considering the things we've done already, you might as well. I'm just intrigued because Alex on my first one never came up at all. Same with Antone as well. They never came up, but Madame Gazelle came up in my first one, but too late for me to actually do anything about it. So first one, we covered Sadotti and we covered Elizabeth. We've done Elizabeth again, and that's not really gone anywhere. I was hoping that would go after what happened. I was hoping that got a bit further, but maybe it's something we'll discover later. But anyway, let's push the Madame Gazelle thing a little bit more. Hastily walking to Madame Gazelle's home with your hood up, you realise you've never actually been there before. Thankfully, you've already memorised her address from all the letters she sent. We have been there before, though. Anyway. Yeah, sometimes these conversations don't tie back to things that have happened, because we went to us on the previous day's little gallivant. Sometimes they don't tie up. It's almost like this is a scripted event that doesn't really understand what's happened previously. But anyway, Of course, even if you didn't know the address already, you'd certainly be able to recognise the place. An elaborate, fashionable Rococo building sits back from the streets and behind a gate. The windows are shrouded by gauzy black curtains. It's like someone modelled the building on her. You go in and knock on the gate, but it opens before you can touch it. Looking around, expecting some sort of spectral sorcery at play, you instead notice Mademoiselle's servant René. You're especially surprised to notice he's no longer wearing his black armband. With a thin smile, the ever-silent René waves you in and leads you beyond the gate into the house. No other house is provided, but you do stroll through the dining room and the salon towards the back garden at the back. You're offered a glass of wine for an impressively dusty bottle, which you take. It's simply nice to be prepared. You arrive in the gardens, which are filled with a combination of blooming roses and lilies. The scent is almost overwhelming. René indicates to Mademoiselle, who's waiting on the chaise along at the centre of the garden. The table is set up next to her, draped in a black sheet. She hasn't noticed you. He bows and begins to dismiss himself. Thank you for your help, René. He smiles his thin smile, but his eyes have more emotion in them than before. You've gained some credibility. Out in the garden, Mademoiselle's waiting on her chaise along, reading by lantern light amongst the flowers. A single spot of sumptuous darkness in the halo of light. Certainly easier out to her, signalling your presence. Looking up, she closes a book and with a crisp snap. But I'm glad you came. The time is impeccable as always. I have a very important meeting tomorrow, which will consume a lot of my time in the near future. But let's focus on tonight, she purrs, tracing her finger across the table concealed with the sheet. After all, I have finally have you all to myself. I have to ask, what brought you here? Why come at all? I'm here because you asked me, and I can't resist your commands. I came here because I want you, and I get what I want. No, that's not going to work with an alright. We're going to go with this one. Right at the start, she speaks. Right as you start to speak, she shushes. Go, wait. Reaching past you, she plucks a leaf from the garden and places it in your hair. Much better, she says with a devilish grin. Now you may speak, my sweet Yvette. Somewhat flustered, you start again on how you are powerless to resist her, but it feels so necessary, right as she effortlessly overruled you. Still, you can tell she likes watching you squirm. She pulls you closer, and your hands on each other. She pulls you closer, and your hands on each other's body. None of your movements feel like your own. Instead, you feel like she's guiding you this way and that. You close your eyes and your lips meet. As your eyes open, you see Mademoiselle pulling a black sheet from the table, revealing a series of items. Your eyes focus mostly on the lengths of sturdy black ribbon and the riding crop. Glancing around, you also realise there are no windows from any of the neighbouring buildings facing this garden. Yvette, I will say this plainly. I trust you. How much do you trust me? Yeah, we'll go with that one, shall we? Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. I think I might be right what's going to happen now, but anyway. Oh my god, this game could surprise me, but I think it just has done. But anyway, let's carry on. I'm very glad to hear that, she says in a low growl, taking your chin beneath a thumb and a forefinger. Don't worry, I will never ask you to do anything you don't want to. However, you may find yourself wanting to do things you never expected. Okay. She seizes you and pushes you face first onto the chaise along. You hear the creak of tightening leather as she clenches a riding crop in her hand. It is a confusing art, but it feels good, impossibly so. Like you're devouring the entire world to do it. In fact, the two of you are so caught up in your play together that you don't even leave the garden. Hours later, you are exhausted, sore, and consumed in heady bliss. Naked, the two of you fall asleep on the chaise along together, using each other's bodies to keep warm. You wake up in the middle, like Mademoiselle is asleep next to you, snoring slightly. Stay with her. With a quiet lull, you lay back and snuggle up to Mademoiselle again, without even waking up. Her arms slip around you, protectively, possessively. Once again, you fall asleep, warmed only by the body of another. Welcomed by the chill of the early morning breeze, you find yourself still on the chaise along, This time alone and covered with a light blanket is black, like everything else Madame Gazelle owns. Looking up at the sound of footsteps, you find Rennie studiously averting his eyes as he brings you a nice breakfast on a silver tray. Bundle yourself up in the sheet, you take the tray from him and begin your breakfast. The good food is made better by the fact you're extremely hungry. There's no ton tray hastily written, but still the smelling of Madame Gazelle's perfume. You open it. My darling Gavette, I'm sorry I'm gone, but I have to leave for an important meeting. Sometimes business truly does come before pleasure. I want to say that last night was amazing. I look forward to playing with you again. Yeah. To be honest, I never thought I'd be able to trust someone again the way I trusted you. Love, Madame Gazelle. Fantastic. I just... Oh, God, I'm loving this. This is fantastic. When it departs and you take your time to save your breakfast before getting dressed and head home, it's still so early that the only people on the streets are the ones who fell asleep there last night. It's just you, your thoughts, and some truly interesting memories. That was everything I wanted and more. Why the devil not? I don't know. Yeah, that wouldn't be in character because, yeah, we wouldn't want to cross her. Got that one. We've unlocked the mistress of command. Your head is still lost in the bliss of last night. You stumble home through the grace of a tipsy dance, every movement joyous, your thoughts elsewhere. You never imagined your life would lead you here, but you're glad that it has. Yeah, I'm sure you are. Oh, damn, this is August. You notice Camilla's left a letter on your vanity. The wax seal is a deep royal purple. There's also notice only spatters of oil paints in the corner of the paper. You bet this seal with a deft slice of your like with the messy, near illegible handwriting is clear Elizabeth's. Javette, I know this doesn't come as a convenient time, but with things as they are in the streets, I don't think we'll see something resembling a convenient time for quite a while. I want to see you on soon. The letter goes on to describe a location where you could meet her. That down the desk is now available on the Paris map. You mean a lot to me, and I just want to find out the right way to say it. You check a direction on the map. It might possibly be to Elizabeth tonight. Okay. Right. Again, I'll give you a guess what we're going to do today. What we're going to be doing now. Safe military man that could probably give us military protection, or, you know. Oh, go on then. Why the devil not? What could possibly go wrong? The way I see it is that I'm pointing at my computer because you can see me doing that. Is that Elizabeth falls on the royal side and Honorade falls on the revolution side. So it might not pan out like that. However, if something goes wrong, hopefully having a foot in both camps might keep us out of trouble. Obviously, Alex would keep us out of trouble as well, but this is a lot more enjoyable. Anyway. When you meet up Elizabeth, you walk together in silence for some time. However, you notice that she's walking closer to you than usual and generally seems more upbeat. Lately, I've been considering some of the things you said to me about my critics and how hard it is to ignore all of their remarks. How about how I've tried to keep them at bay by feigning indifference? And what do you think now? Oh God, what happened? Do you need me to slap someone besides because I'm ready? I've been thinking I've been going about this all along. I try to think that rebuking my detractors only embolden them, but that dignity only works for lords and ladies. They have titles and privileges to protect them. I don't. If I'm to be happy, I must stop letting fools drag my name through the mud. Well, I started talking to Marie again, and I tried to apologise for embarrassing her with that portrait. The long pause, she speaks again, her voice begins to crack. Do you know what Marie said to me? She told me that it was her favourite. That was the best painting of her that anyone had ever done. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but Elizabeth didn't seem to notice. All this time I thought I was a monster, but I never hurt my friend. In fact, I gave her exactly what she wanted. The art critics and those bores at the academy, they're the ones who hurt her. I let them blame me until I blame myself. Realising this, it made everything better. Even my paintings are becoming easier than before. I'm actually excited for my next 3 patrons. And well, you've been a big part of that. She looks deep into your eyes. She says, you really have. Okay. She reaches out and loops her arms through yours. The two of you walk arm in arm for a while. Ever since she started talking again, Marie's been asking my opinion on all sorts of things. She feels like the count doesn't have many friends left in France, and she doesn't know who they should be reaching out to. What do you think? She keeps asking me. But I'm just a painter. As she considers taking a softer stance against the revolutionaries. As she's supposed to think about this, tap her fingers on her chin. Eventually, she looks at you with shock and says, "The revolution, you want me to tell my friends to go to soft people want to hurt and disempower her family? Is that where your allegiance really lie?" Actually, no doubt to that. Okay. What can then heavy silence? While you're sure it couldn't be longer than a few minutes, it feels like stretching into eternity. Silence out, because I messed that up, didn't I? At home, Camille opens the door on the first knock. "Bonjour, madame." If you think there was a cut there was, because Adobe Premiere decided to start doing weird things, but anyway. I didn't handle that last bit very well, did I? In fact, I made a right little screw up of it, but anyway. Things didn't go as well as I hoped, that's very true. Madam. I'm sorry to hear that, madame. Come over, my grumpily. If it helps, I'm prepared your room, just where you like it. Burdened with your heavy thoughts, you trudge upstairs already planning what you'll write in your journal before bed. Yeah, that didn't go well at all. Okay. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Reading newspapers in the morning these days feels like an exercise in masochism, but you still do it anyway. You might as well know what exactly is on the brink of tearing your entire world asunder today. Appears the Archies have been conducting more raids as of late. They're trying to suppress any political organisations or club that are advocating radical beliefs. It might be too little too late, but they're trying to maintain some image of authority and unity. Your eye suddenly stopped at the name buried in the middle of the article. Amongst the list of random clubs and societies has been singled out is amongst the list of random clubs and societies that have been singled out, one of them is the mysterious and enigmatic Frankish Habsburgian Society. Your eyes widen as you reread the article, looking for more details on the fate of Armand society. It seems that like many of them have been arrested and are waiting trial, but there's no mention of either Armand or Joanna. The Archies state that they have not found the leader of the society yet and are urging the public to come forth with credible leads. You continue on with your day as usual, but can think of back to the article. Something about it is nagging at you. Yeah, really. We've got Alex dance together. Right. Let's do this one and see whether we can. You're on the streets, as always, you're looking opportunity of some sort, but a certain malaise drags at you every step. It's not exhaustion per se, but it certainly makes things more difficult. Perhaps this is common in life such as yours, where it is difficult to truly separate one's labour from one's leisure. As you ponder this country, feel a gentle tap on your shoulder, turn around, you find yourself face to face with none other than your fancy Armand. If it managed to finish my business earlier, we rarely get to see each other. How would you feel about joining me for a little moment? I have to admit, I've got fond of this place. Nobody knows who the devil I am. Nobody here knows who the devil I am. Only some of the wealthy, the powerful, and the extremely politically active consider me a danger. The common man has no quarrel with me. I'm just another patron. I'm on glass the table for the both of you and orders the house when it arrives in a clay pitcher. And the vintage is completely unknown. Then again, it doesn't feel like this place is where patrons care about the specifics of their refreshments, merely the quantity and potency. A few glasses later, you notice with tempo of music starts to pick up. He extends his hand to you across the table. Would you care to dance, mon chéri? A vigorous and passionate waltz. You take on the join amongst the dancers, choosing to dance the waltz together. Your movements together are synchronised and powerful. You feel his breathing as you dance so close together that you're almost cheek to cheek. The music isn't really suited for this dance, but that feels beside the point for a place like this. A waltz is more of an Austrian dance, but Armand feels remarkably familiar with it. Feel the pressure of the stairs at your backs as you dance together. While times are changing, there are still those who view partner dancing as indecent. Then again, they can take their compliments up with the hangman if they care so much. You and Armand have been defying convention for a long time already. Why stop here? Now that you and Armand truly and you find a question come to mind. We know who that was. We know that was because the man was from the Augsburg Society. Again, sometimes it's like events like this don't keep time with what you've done elsewhere. Sometimes it's like the events don't really kind of update themselves with what's gone on in the storyline. But anyway, music starts to slow down. You find yourself resting your cheek on Armand's chest. The smell of his skin is both comforting and familiar. Forgive me, Armand whispered. It's so long I've almost forgotten how much I miss this. It's been some time since we felt this relaxed, and the longest we've been in weeks without thinking about the latest intrigue or impending disaster. Slowly the music winds down, and you step away from the other dancer revellers arm in arm. The two of you walk back through the city gates to Paris proper. This way we must part ways, mon chéri. I hope to see you again soon. Things may be chaotic now, but I just know we'll make it through this. As you find your way home, you consider the days without spending time with Armand. I fell in with Armand because he was a big fish in a small pond. I see that now. Yeah, just things we've been up to. You might return to manifold difficulties and intrigues occupying your time. You walk home trying to organise your thoughts. There are just too many possibilities to consider. Paris continues in fits and starts to burn. You spend your copious time poring over what little snippets of news you managed to pick up over the last few days. At this moment, it looks like the crown will be able to weather the storm. The revolution fires burn, but not brightly enough. This is good for you, of course. From all your time in Paris and your close association with Elizabeth, the public believes you to be loyal to the crown. So what happens next, you can be assured that the ship of state shall come to port in a sea reddened by the torrents of blood, and so Paris continues to burn. Ooh. So we've still got the Alex things. We've got Fishy Bits, that's nothing there. Ludovicio, nothing there. Well, let's do the Alex thing. Get ready for a day with Alex. You check your makeup and mirror one last time, flawless as per usual. With a light step, you head downstairs and Camille opens the front door for you. That's when you're greeted by something truly surprising. Alex is already waiting for you outside, astride a brilliant white horse. Everything on his uniform is perfect in place, and the leather polished to a mirror shine. Madam, you look far too beautiful for walking these days. May Joseph and I assist you? I would like nothing more. I was hoping you'd say that, Alex says as he adjusts himself back in the saddle. You place a hand on the back of the saddle and he grabs you by the middle of your forearm. On the count of 3, you jump up and he pulls the rest of you onto the horse. Thankfully, you already know how to ride side saddle, otherwise this would be quite undignified. Yeah. Just hold on tight. Well, only when you show me how fast Joseph can go. It's all easy. Here we go. Ever the woman of action. I love it. I just love that picture. That is absolutely magnificent. With a tug of the reins and a enthusiastic yell, Joseph rears up and you grab onto Alex instinctively. Together you take off down the streets at a good clip. That for me, skirts up, stockings on show. That just shows, that typifies me how we've done this run through so far. If I took a screen grab, that would be the one I'd take, because that just simply typifies what we've been like this playthrough. That's just yeah. There's something special about riding horse, being in the carriage. You inspire mystery as you wind through the streets hidden from view. The public is left to wonder about your identity, your appearance, your intentions. However, on a horse, you're holding yourself up on a live pedestal for the world to see. People stare and children point. You inspire awe being so public. It's enough to make you feel like a princess in a fairy tale. Hopefully, It's one of the nice fairy tales, not the ones that end with all the torture. You hold on to Alex firmly, thinking about everything that's happened. Are you alright considering all the stuff happened with your father? Were you supposed to be happy with you doing all this with Joseph? Well, you can see his face because you can hear the fire in his voice. Happy with what you're using my house for personal business. As they won't, but my superiors already have their hands full with civil unrest and safeguarding their own careers, so I don't think they'll mind that all that much. Oh, crap. He turns with a mischievous grin. Yvette, can you check my holster? Oh, well, hold on a second, sailor. Calm yourself. Momentarily but worried by the possibility to shoot somebody, you flip over his leather flat and holster a leather flap on his saddle holster to reveal an unlabelled magnum of champagne and 2 tin cups. As permitted this morning, you are now riding with Sergeant Dumas of the Queen's Royal Dragoons, he says, puffing out his chest. Nobody else in my unit knows about it yet. I just wanted to celebrate with you first. Would you mind pouring a glass? You uncork the champagne with a jolly pop. Carefully pour yourself 2 tin cups of fine drink. You pass one cup to Alex, and he holds it aloft in one hand. Now what should we taste? He mumbles to himself. How about to the Majesty King, long may he reign. To the crown and tours. I certainly can't say no to that, he laughs as he moaned, clinks his cups against yours. To his Majesty and to us. You sip the champagne to find that it's shockingly good. It must have cost a fortune. Do you like our spoils of battle? I might have appropriated the champagne for some fearsome brigands who looted a winery a few months back. When we were first called to hunt these seas down, the count in charge of the winery was dreadfully unhospitable to us. He says with such carefree air that he can only assume that this nobleman was completely unbearable. After days of tracking these seas down, the most incredible thing happened when we found the wine. All at once, the labels fell off, and I couldn't remember who to return the wine to. He laughs. While I appreciate a good taste, there's no need to be greedy. The Count has learned his lesson. We have fine champagne. Everyone is better off than they were. As Joseph starts to slow down, you look around to realise you have your destination, wherever it is. Alex gets off his horse and as answer you, take his hand and step down, jump into his arms. Without warning, you leap from the saddle into his arms. Alex manages to catch you despite his face to be frozen in a mask of shock. Our Pascal favours you with some whoops and cheers. Alex replies with a theatrical wave. I don't know if this means that you truly trust me or if you're simply toying with me. Either way, I'm enjoying it. Okay. Alex stops to tie Joseph to a hitching post, and the two of you start to promenade beside the river, tin cups of fine champagne in hand. Looking at the riverbanks, you can't help but notice how many people are bound to flee the city, people with money at least. No matter what happens to poor people are usually forced to contend with the consequences, whatever they may be. I don't blame them, he says, gesturing to the people scurrying onto their boats. Things are likely to get worse around here before they get better. Enough worry though. I promised you a lovely day and intend to deliver on that promise. You spend the day promenading up and down the river, Alex, drinking many tests of his latest compliments and your future together. Something about your open merriment proves infectious amongst the tension of the streets. People smile in your direction or doff their caps as you two walk past arm in arm. It's not a kind day bedecked with finery or starry with pretension, however it is a carefree and genuine one that serves to lift your spirits in a way that nothing else could. It makes you feel like everything is going to be alright. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed. We've unlocked a few things here. This is going to get complicated. This is going to get very complicated. You wake to the sound of some knocking on the front door. I'll get it, Madame. Camille calls cheerily from downstairs as she goes for the door. You suddenly hear Camille gasp. There's something distinctive sound of her running up the stairs to your room. Madame, you don't believe it. Monsieur Monde is here. What does he do? Do you know what he's... Doesn't he know it's dangerous? I don't know, madam, but he's here now, Camille says with a shrug. But you can tell she's trying to conceal her excitement. Armand enters the bedroom not long after his greeting you with a gentle kiss on the cheek. Bonjour, ma chérie. Oh, it's good to be back here, even if it's but for a moment. Camille, if you excuse us. Oui, monsieur, she replies with a curtsy before she leaves the two of you to your business. As you can imagine, I'm not just here for a social call. Armand admits, I know it's dangerous for me to come here, especially given all that's happened recently. But what I'm about to say simply had to be discussed in person. I started hope to advance our cause by slowly building consensus within the State and all. However, the time for this is long past. We can't build consensus when people are killing each other in the streets. After Joanna's disappearance and the raids on our society, our difficulties have only grown. In fact, I think the only reason I was able to escape the raids myself was because I was out warning everyone. After the discovery made when you came over for dinner, if you hadn't visited your trials, I should have the possibility. What's important is that it's still possible to accomplish something useful amongst this uncertainty, but it won't be easy. To put it simply, we have to play both the crown and the revolution at the same time. And something like requires a mutual enemy, a distraction. Fortunately, it doesn't work that way, Yvette. With things muddled as they are, the last thing we need is right now is a distraction. No, the only way we can appeal to both these groups is to create a common enemy. We may not be able to bring about our original plan, but we can get both the revolutionaries and the crown to draft a close military and trade alliance with Austria, as well as guaranteeing the safety of the Queen and her children. We might be able to secure open borders between our two nations. Yeah, exactly. It's funny. That's the funny thing about politics. Despite every sabre rattle and every declaration of allegiance and purity, there are always secret messages and discussions going between enemies. Most leaders rather negotiate, even if the terms aren't as agreeable. Sadly, to the negotiation table, let's find a compromise. Doesn't rally one's base like to arms. Let us seize what's right, ours by right. So those same leaders simply negotiate in secret. Even in times of war, the conversation never stops. The stakes really grow more dire. This, of course, is where our plan becomes underhanded. Okay. What we need for this is someone that we know well, who is already under suspicion by society, framing them as a threat that we've discovered, and we can bring both the crown and relation to the negotiating table long enough to get our demands. Right now, our best choice for this deception is Elizabeth LeBrun. She's already earned the ire of the public. She was once close to the Queen. We could say all this comes from desire for revenge after being cast out. Framing her as someone conspiring against this nation will help save many lives. However, it also means she's likely to be in prison for life or executed. We need someone close to her to initiate this kind of... Oh my God. Yeah, I mean... I see a fancy reply says, honestly, I'd hoped you see the value of our ends, but ends here, but no matter. So I must take my leave now then. There's much I still need to do before day is through. He says, gives you a quick kiss on the cheek. But I hope that kiss still might do some good while we still have a chance. Oh my God. With that, I'm on leave, and the rest of your day is still in front of you. Good. Because in one life, yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it, really? Slowly you get through the day, get ready for the day plagued by pangs of doubt. Still you move on. While this decision may have troubled you, that doesn't mean the world has slowed down at all. There was always more to do. Yeah, I'm not sure that was... Yeah, that's a difficult one. I'm not entirely sure that was... how that's helped us at all. We don't need that one. Tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to leave it just there. That was a mixed bag of an episode. We push on a raid thing. We've essentially got Elizabeth we upset her. I didn't. I did that completely wrong. I should have thought about that a bit more. As a schoolboy error on that one. Honorade was kind of everything I expected it to be, and so we've firmly got several parts of our body in that camp. And Alex as well is, yeah. So at the moment we've got Alex on the revolutionary side. On the crown side, we've got Honorade on the revolutionary side, and we've got Armand. I should have played that differently. But anyway, we'll see. It's certainly a lot more interesting than the last one. I'm wondering if he's waiting me to do something on this one. I'm not sure that, again, it's almost like this is taunting me to do something about it. But anyway, that's one for the next one. Hope you've enjoyed that. A rather interesting episode. Yes, and I think we're getting to the business end of this. I don't think we've got long left in this one now. I think we're getting to the business end of it all. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that, because I certainly have, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye.